So I've been postponing the making of this video for a while now because I still haven't painted my ceiling and installed the LEDs yet. But at least what I could do is I could show you how the LEDs looked when I tested them. Currently I have yet to get LED profiles to hold the LEDs properly and help them cool. That's the main thing stopping me, alongside tackling the accessibility for the PSU box and LED controller. What you see is only single color and RGB functionality isn't controlled yet. I was able to get few RGB colors while cycling between modes, and the LED looks great. Here you can see how hard it is to remove a single screw as it is bent. It was really time consuming to do all of this, but it had to be done. Very rarely I just kept the screws inside. Like, I removed most of them. Maybe some of the pieces of the screw was left without the head of the screw. Those were truly impossible to remove, but for others, you can see how many screws there are. I removed all of them one by one, and removing using a power tool was mostly impossible because of the plaster you see below. And this ratcheting wrench was really helpful. I wasn't quite sure it was gonna work, but it did, and it really helped in most of the screws. I continue removing more screws. As you can see, there are lots of screws there. Then I start cleaning up my back to remove the plastic parts and some of the bits that didn't come. And I just hit some of them to make them go inside and just cover with plaster. Here I still remove more, and this is the preparation for sanding. Here I do more of the central area sanding and plaster work. This was also a little bit hard to perfect it. You can see how there's a difference between the center and the paint. There's a thickness difference. Here I do covering up of those holes. Currently the holes really aren't at all visible. Even before painting, the ceiling looks pretty even and flat. As you can see, there are so many holes. I also had to fix these larger holes for the LED fixtures. This was also some work. I still may have left a few more spots to fix for those, and I try to flatten more of the edge of the recessed ceiling. There's also still some work to be done here. Maybe I might do some wet sanding. I only found out that I could actually wet sand plaster, which would be much easier and much less dusty and much safer. So currently the ceiling is pretty flat, except for those edges, which also do look flat, but it would be nicer if it looked perfectly flat, you know, without all these cutting marks. I do more fine sanding of those areas. Like, there are little cracks and stuff there. And in the meantime, I also try to cover the sides and progress more with the central area again, and do more corner fixes, which had a lot of areas to fill. See, it's a lot of tedious work, and so you have to do it like a few times, not just once, because you can't fill the area if it's a large area. This area is especially very large area to fill. I had to do a few passes on it, which in the end looked pretty good actually. So here you can see how I can fix the flatness issue here. You know, I have to be creative in order to fill those areas without just accidentally taking the wet plaster away with the spatula. I've done this a bunch of times, and in the end it looked mostly really good. like 95% good. Maybe I might do a little bit more work, but even right now it's pretty usable. Here you can see I do more of the same thing. Plaster board cutting time. So you score with a knife and then you break it. You score from the plaster side, by the way, but there's a cardboard behind, so I just cut it with a utility knife. Since it's already cut, you just follow the line. So here's the piece. Now let's see how it looks like. Now this is for the first part. Let's see, I scraped it a little bit. And let's see what it looks like now. As you can see, this is how it looks from the last time. So this has been the most challenging stuff so far in closing these wide holes, because see, there's quite a bit of gap over the board that I just put. The right one also has similar gap. It's possible I could just fill it, but both, in order to be strong enough, secure enough, I first added some cardboard to just friction fit it, like basically hold it in place, because it doesn't even hold itself up like the piece on the right, because that one kind of gets stuck due to its size, the height. This is a little bit less than that, so it doesn't just stay in place by itself. Also, that had some bracket on the side. This also had it, but I had to cut it because the right and left sides from this side, the ceiling, it's actually not even, when you measure its distance to the front part. When all the plaster is done, it will look flat, because it is flat, because I've measured it in multiple spots, in 10-20 spots, and it's all 10 centimeters its distance. In order to do that, I had to cut this part, and when I do that, this no longer holds. So I had to use some cardboard, but not only that, there's huge gaps there. And in order to save just a little bit plaster use, make it a bit more safe, because if I just fill all of that with plaster, I don't think it's as safe as doing it like this. So I just had to cut like 1.7 centimeters high small pieces, and I will be using plaster to secure it, and this will be done. So we will proceed with that now. So here is the remaining part of the ceiling. I think I'm a seasoned recessed ceiling hole fixer, and let's see how quickly I can finish this. Also, let me just show you this part. I will be using primer and then painting it. Really nice now. Hopefully this part will also be nice. I won't really have to use like extra pieces like I did with the other one. So hopefully this will be much easier, because it's not even at all sides, here and here. It's just like a centimeter or so change. So I will have to cut unevenly and we will do the rest. Here is the final state of the ceiling. As you can see, it looks acceptably flat. Here, this is the other side, also looks acceptably flat. This is the final status of the plasterwork I have done. I've did a lot of sanding, refining. The center looks pretty good. You almost see absolutely no holes. It's basically ready for painting. This area, I have worked on this a little less, but it also looks fine. I just need some work on all these edges. I'm planning on just putting up some metal profile on those and just making them as flat as possible. I mean, they look pretty flat actually, but there's like minor deviations and whatnot. I mean, look at this. It looks pretty flat, right? Let's check this area. Also looks okay, but you see there's some squiggly stuff here. So I wanna fix those before I paint it. I could probably do it after the paint, but I want the paint to be perfect. Also, quick note here, I left this area open because there's gonna be the LED power supply and the LED controller in there, which was placed around here. I just removed it to test it. So I need to make some door over there to be able to access it, because previously this area had more area towards the outside, so it just sit there in the corner. I could still probably put it in the corner there, but it will be visible, so I want to hide it behind plaster. However, I want to be able to access it, obviously, so I need to maybe do some latch on the plasterboard. I don't know, it's might be a bit complex, but I have to do something like that, so I haven't yet filled that area. Maybe I could just fill most of it, like leave a little gap and then deal with it later, but I haven't done it yet, so I will do that, I don't know, before or after the paint. Obviously the plasterboard needs to be painted, so I would have to paint it afterwards, so maybe I should close this hole first. So there's that left as well. I don't know how much you can actually notice in the video, but in real life, when you look at it, it looks pretty ready for painting, Like the first time I did this, it looked so much worse. You could easily see all those holes, especially in the center. I did some plaster here as well. This looks a bit like a bulgy, but it's really only the shine, It's somewhat flat. Like there's some work here I might do from the old painting. It doesn't look great, but it's minor. Before paint, I also have to remove the cable. I haven't yet been able to successfully do it, because if you look at this here, it's a mess, I have to remove some of those to make it simpler, but I mean, when I pull them, it just doesn't come. I don't even know which one is these cables, but it's just really hard. I have to deal with that, and then I will do the plaster and paint. I had some stuff missing, like I had the paint and all that. I think you may have seen in other videos. Just had like a roll and other stuff for painting. So I have all the stuff that I could possibly need now for paint. I just need to iron out those little details. Also, here's a surprise. This is the Normandy SR2 from Mass Effect, which was one of my biggest prints. I have painted some of this. There's still some details left. Like there's gonna be somewhere around here Normandy text, SR2 text, some more painting will be done, but I've mounted it. Let me show you the mount. I have designed it myself and printed it. Currently, it looks, it may have like creeped a little bit, but it's holding well. It's been like, I don't know, 5 days or something. So this is the plan for this area. This is the start. I'm gonna have more stuff here. I have a Cylon base star from Battlestar Galactica, which probably will go here, and maybe Cylon Raider there, but I might also just print some other spaceships from Mass Effect, because I want it to be, context related. But I will add more stuff, obviously, from other fiction. Also, we will obviously have a lighting there, and obviously the ceiling. So this is how it looks currently. I'm very pleased. This is the final stage. Just before uploading this video, this is how it looks right now. I'm pretty pleased. I couldn't ask for more. I mean, this could have ended so much earlier. I just been a bit lazy. I haven't done most of this work, and I have done other stuff in the meantime, a lot of other stuff. I worked on the workshop organization and other stuff, so much other stuff. So I was only able to find time. This is how it is now. Most likely, like 99%, the next video will be featuring more of the LEDs, actual installation hopefully. I still have yet to get LED profiles, which is the main hurdle, but hopefully I will get it soon, and then we will be installing LEDs and having full RGB control. Granted, it won't be addressable RGB, so individual RGBs won't change, but it would have some effects. And since I'm using Zigbee smart home system, ecosystem, ARGB, addressable RGB just isn't possible with Zigbee, so that's why I opted to get just regular RGB. Also, we'll be doing some organization there. Let me show you some of my recent prints. This is Guts from Berserk. We see Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. This is Geralt from Witcher, and this is V from V for Vendetta. Here we got Big Daddy from BioShock, and here we got Bulbasaur from Pokemon, and this is Demogorgon from Stranger Things. I got a non-printed model from Death Note. Obviously, this is a Harry Potter print, and these are the Smurfs. These aren't, except Harry Potter, none of these are printed. You may have seen this. Also a Harry Potter chess set that I've printed and fully made myself. Hermione Granger from, I don't need to mention where. So this is how it is looking now, and hopefully the next video will be featuring the LEDs. See you on the next one.